Hi, welcome to SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak, and this is my ATS conference update for the SEC for the games through February 15th. Florida and Kentucky are the first two teams we're going to take a look at. Florida, of course, was a dominant ATS powerhouse for most of the season, and they are still 13-7 against the spread overall on the year. But injuries and line adjustments have definitely caught up with them recently, and they've now lost 3 of their last 4 games against the spread. 2 of those ATS losses were by small margins when they were a huge favorite, but still, they're sure to continue being huge favorites, and I would be careful about betting them in the near future. Kentucky, of course, is in a down year this year, and they have been overvalued all season long. They're right now 8-13 against the spread on the year overall, and of course, now Nerlens Noel is out for the year, and we'll know more about the impact of that in a few weeks. But Kentucky was just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 SEC games with Noel playing. A few SEC teams that have been covering recently are Arkansas, who's now covered 4 of their last 5 and could continue to be undervalued in upcoming games. Auburn, who's 4-2 against the spread in their last 6, despite being 1-5 straight up in those games. And LSU, who is 5-2 against the spread in their last 7. And Georgia has also come on very strong recently. They're 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games, and they'll be facing teams that have been struggling ATS in their upcoming road game at Mississippi, and then again in their upcoming home game against South Carolina. The 2 basement-dwelling teams in the SEC have also been notably bad bets as well. South Carolina has lost their last 5 games in a row against the spread, and by generally big margins as well. And Mississippi State is 3-8 against the spread in SEC play, and they are just looking more outmatched in most games than their lines are giving them credit for. I'd continue to look to fade them on any competitive line, and they might get blown out as a 12-point underdog or so at LSU, similar to what happened to them at Tennessee earlier in the year. There's a lot of interesting things going on with totals in the SEC, mostly having to do with very strong under trends. Alabama is 3-15 over-under on the year, and they've now gone under in their last 9 games in a row, and 6 of those unders were by double digits. The totals are getting a bit lower, but 2 of their last 3 unders were still by double digits, so I would continue to look for unders with them, although the magnitude of the undervalue with them is likely to shrink going forward a bit, but some should still be there nonetheless. Then South Carolina is 0-7-1 over-under in their last 8 games, and they do have a game coming up at Alabama, which should be a good under candidate again, even if the total for that game is in the 110s. Their game at Georgia should also be a good under candidate. Georgia's 2-8 over-under at home on the year, and their last 3 home games all had totals in the 110s, but all still went under by double digits. So if they have another total in the 110s against South Carolina, that might be another one that goes under again by double digits. And LSU and Vanderbilt are 2 more teams that have been notable SEC undertrenders. LSU is 3-7 over-under in their last 10, and 1 of those overs was due to overtime, and the other 2 only went over by small margins. So I would look for more unders from them in upcoming games at Tennessee and at home against Alabama. And Vanderbilt is 4-15 over-under on the year, 2-8 at home, and they're currently on a streak of 5 straight unders. They have upcoming home games against Texas A&M and Georgia that could be more good under candidates. 2 strong overtrenders in the SEC have been Mississippi and Missouri. Mississippi's reeled off 5 straight overs, and their recent games have gone way over their totals, and Missouri's 6-3 over-under in their last 9 games. So we could see some good over opportunities with Mississippi and Missouri, especially when they're matched up against higher-scoring SEC teams like Kentucky, Arkansas, and Florida. And that's my SEC ATS conference update for the games through February 15th. For SBR Forum Videos, I'm Peter Loshak.